Hey guys, so I've seen a couple videos running around the net of people trying to rebuild or restore Zippo lighters and then lighting themselves on fire. So I figured I'd go through, and because I just got all of the stuff that I need to refill my Zippo, and it also needs a new flint, I figured I'd go ahead and put something together. I don't actually smoke cigarettes or anything, at least not very often, and occasionally it happens, but I actually got this for free by helping a friend of mine move out a couple years ago, and it's just been sitting around collecting dust. The Zippo, that is, so I figured I'd finally get it up and running now that I'm getting back into my outdoor stuff. So right now I know that it needs a flint because it's dead. It also obviously needs lighter fluid. So let's go ahead and get it started. First thing you want to do is just open it up like that. Then slip out the inside. And this lighter is actually so old that it doesn't have the safety warnings that are present on more modern Zippos these days, where it'll actually say lift here. And normally what you're supposed to do is put a paper clip in this little hole here that you can't see because my finger's over it. But you put a paper clip in there and use that to pry out the felt. But this felt's kind of worn, so we're able to actually just get it out without the paper clip. And inside you'll see cotton wadding. That's actually what your lighter fluid goes into. But before we do that, we'll want to actually remove this screw so that we can replace the flint with a new one. I actually did this yesterday, not thinking that I was going to do a video on it, and then I decided to do a video. So what you want to do is unscrew this screw. Now, I just used my thumbnail to do it, but the slot on this is also exactly the same as a US dime. So you can just slip that in there, give it a couple twists, and then you just sit and unscrew it like a regular old screw, because that's what it is. Except there's one minor difference between your average screw and a Zippo screw, and that's this giant-ass spring. The spring actually provides tension to keep the flint pressed up against the steel wheel that's up on top. But what you want to do once that's done is you take your package of flints, which this is how Zippo distributes their flints. They come in several different packages. I just wanted to use something that was actually made by the manufacturer, because I'm a pretentious little bastard like that. But you take your flint out. It comes out just like that, and to keep it from spilling anymore, you just keep the wheel rotated up. Drop your flint that you just bought, and we'll find the used side since this one's already been dropped in there. Well, I guess we won't find used side. We just drop it back down the tube. I didn't get that on film. You just drop it down the tube, just like that. Not that you can really see it. Then put your spring back in, push it down. And you want to tighten the screw into place. This can actually cause binding if you go all the way down. This is an older lighter, so it won't bind. But on newer lighters, it can cause some binding. So if you get that, you want to back this out a bit. But you don't want to leave it out too far, because if you leave it too far out, then when you go to put the insert back into the sleeve, it won't sit all the way down. So we've got that in place, and you can give it a couple good flicks just to make certain that it's sparking, which, as you can see, it is. Now, we need to load it with lighter fluid. To do that, like I mentioned earlier, you lift up the foam padding, and you open up your lighter fluid. Child seal caps are wonderful things because they keep little kids from lighting themselves on fire, and adults from being able to do their business. Give me 1 second here, sorry. If all else fails and you can't do that, grab something thin and pointy. In my case, I'm going to use the tip of my knife. And get it in and just lift up that flip like that. I'm using Ronsol, which is just what has been used by everybody that I know that smokes for years. Zippo actually makes their own that they recommend, of course. But now you just give it a couple dabs. About a 2-second. Yeah, it's a little bit more than 2 seconds, I know. If you get fluid all over. You'll want to wash your hands after you get done with this, otherwise you can light yourself or your table on fire, which is usually what I see happens in repair videos like this. If not, don't worry about it. But you want to make sure that the cotton wadding gets really soaked, and if you remember a couple minutes ago it was really bright white, and now it's actually kind of a gray. That means that it's starting to take on the lighter fluid, but it's not quite saturated yet. So we'll give it a little bit more. And this can take 2 or 3 times to get this done. Especially for older wadding like this, that, or particularly dry wadding, I should say. And we're just going to wait for a little bit longer for that to soak up some more. And you can see here that this doesn't dry quickly, so this is actually the cotton wadding kind of moving things around, wicking it up into the wick, and doing all kinds of sciencey stuff. But we'll go ahead and get a little bit more on there. And it's starting to look pretty saturated at this point. We might do one more hit here in a second. Let's see how it does. But here you can see, well, maybe you can't see lighting. But generally, you can see that it's starting to look more like a cotton glob than an actual bundle of cotton that's stuck in there. And that's generally what you want to do. And it's also gained a little bit of weight, I just realized. So we'll give it one more hit. That's 1,002. And you just drop the felt back over it. Insert it back into the sleeve. And hope the wick is still good. Sometimes the wicks on these can apparently get old or go out. But there we go. We now have flame. And it's windproof, which is Zippo's huge claim to fame. To close these, or to get it to go out, you always close the top. You never blow it out, which defeats Zippo's claim to fame. But it also helps maintain an ember in the wick. And there you go.